Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So I first checked out the viability of soloing Warlords of Draenor content a few months ago, shortly after Legion launched. There was some limited success, but there was issues like with Hansgar and Franzok causing resets that really hampered progress. Today I'm going to be revisiting Warlords of Draenor with an item level 884 character. This is probably the only time we're actually having the healing legs and Peerdaz as legendaries was actually a good thing. Now we're going to begin with Hellfire Citadel on heroic mode. Hellfire Assault was actually really easy overall. There are so many trash mobs that the Hunter's self-healing mechanic was actually, something with a very high uptime. That said, I wasn't taking much damage anyway. Now the actual fight mechanics are easy enough. You need to protect two large cannons. To do this, you need to kill the mobs that spawn in and then destroy the siege engines that also spawn. You will find these siege engines actually drop crates of ammo, so you pick up the crate and then you take them to one of the cannons. The fight ends when you've loaded enough ammo into the cannon so that the cannons can destroy the entrance gate to the Citadel. You just need to be on your toes with this one. Being ranged certainly does help with mob aggro. Apart from dying though, you'll only fail this if a whole bunch of packs of mobs run up to a cannon and destroy it without you really noticing. Next, moving on to Iron Reaver. Look, it was just tank and spank to me. For me, I didn't even bother managing aggro on my pet. There were no majorly worrying mechanics, though classes with limited self-healing might, stand out of the fire properly. It casts an ability called Barrage, which you should probably sidestep, though the damage overall just was not that concerning to me. Next we got Croesus, and I suck, I forgot to turn on Shadowplay, which is a bit silly. That said, well, it was tank and spank. I was able to body tank him on a hunter and kill him with ease. None of his major mechanics would really lead to failure or death, so yeah, Chromog is pretty damn easy to solo on heroic difficulty. Next, Hellfire High Council is easy if you do it right, and, well, not easy if you don't. After some experimentation, I found the easiest thing to do was just to put my pet on the caster, then nuke down the Hulk dude first, and then work on the other two afterwards. Now the mechanic is that if the two melee bosses are too close to the ranged one, they're basically invulnerable, and then whenever a boss goes down to 30% health, they get a new mechanic. Now you might think you want to chip them down to like 35% health each and then knock each one of them down. I honestly found that their health pools were so small, I just blasted down the Hulk dude, then the caster, and finally the Blade Master. Any time that I failed this fight was just due to me executing that poorly, or, just being far too slow. But yeah, just get the kill order right, and you should be okay. Kilrog is the next boss that you'll face. The problem with him is stacking damage from him. Now, being a hunter, I was able to just put my pet on him and reset my threat through feigned death, so I didn't have to deal with that too much. You might want to have some sort of solution to survive through that, though. Past this, he does summon in these Hulks. They give you stacks of like a Fell Corruption thing. A bar will appear, don't fill the bar, and the easiest way to deal with those Hulks is just to kill them really fast. I usually just ensured I had like Piercing Shot or something like that off cooldown so that I could deal with them easily. Now, he also spawns in some other ads. They need to be killed, they're not much of a problem. He does a thing called Vision of Death where circles appear in the ground. I stood in it, I kind of forgot what the mechanic did, but I stood in it anyway and it was fine. The rest of the fight basically didn't matter, and that's Kilrog. As for Gorefiend, well, bad news. He can't be soloed. One of his mechanics involves you being brought, like, into his stomach. You, like, die and get taken in there, but that actually causes the fight to reset. Now, I hope Blizzard will change this. They've previously done similar fixes with Thorim and Galacrast to help soloing, so perhaps soon in the future, we will be able to go past Gorefiend. I did try Hellfire Assault Mythic, but you're dealing with 20 players worth of mobs. It's far harder, and while I'm sure it can be soloed, I think it's just a little bit beyond the abilities or the capabilities of most sort of players and classes right now, and perhaps tier 20's release will help. I then went to Blackrock Foundry. Mythic, you're probably going to need to wait until the next patch for that, which is a pity because the Mythic gear does look great. Now, unfortunately, Shadowplay problems struck again. There's one or two encounters where I don't have footage, but nothing really that important was missed. So first up we've got Gruel. Look, just stand out of the crap, avoid his Inferno Strikes if you can. I just put them on my pet and kind of sidestep them. Overall the fight's mainly just a DPS race though. Now going in with an 820 character is probably not going to yield good results. I was 884, so you do want some gear for this guy, but overall he's not too bad. Next, Ore Gorger was pretty easy. Previously, the stacks of his tank swap ability would have just killed me outright, but with the gear that I've got now, especially the two legendaries, the damage really wasn't much of a problem. Blast Furnace was simple, it just kind of takes a while, so you want to start off by gathering up all the mobs that spawn there and killing them. then go to each side of the furnace and kill the Grond that spawn in. A number of mobs will flow in during this phase. The ones you want to watch out for are the engineers. They drop a bag of bombs. Whenever that happens, just carry the bombs over to the heat regulator and use your extra action button. You ideally want to destroy both of the heat regulators on either side of the blast furnace within a short period of time, but it doesn't really matter that much because we just sort of over-gear the incoming damage. Now the next phase, it's kind of really easy. Basically, slag elementals spawn in, you want to kill them on top of the primal elementalists. You then just, doing that will break the elementalist's shield, which allows it to be killed. Then just kill all 4 elementalists in that manner. This will release a big elemental who you just nuke down, and that's it. Blast furnace is cleared. Next, we move on to Hans and Franz. So they used to pick me up and reset the encounter. For whatever reason, that no longer happens, which means they can be killed again with relative ease. Standing in the slag panels didn't even do that much damage, and I guess there's a few times in this video where you'll see me not move out of things because basically my legs heal me whenever I'm standing still, so I don't need to worry. Next, Flamebinder Kagraz is just a simple tank and spank. Just don't stand in the crap, kill the wolves when they spawn in, you'll be fine. Chromog, once again, very easy, just nuke him down. There is one mechanic you need to know, however. He will do a mechanic where orange runes appear all over the room. You want to stand in a rune, a hand will then appear out of it and grab you, and then he'll start whacking the floor. Wait until he's finished whacking the floor, and kill the hand. If you kill the hand too early, while he's still whacking the floor, you'll be knocked up, which will lead to death. Other than that though, Chromog is fine. Beast Lord Darmak, once again, easy as hell, but try not to fall asleep. He's got one mechanic which could kill you. Spears will fall down from time to time. They're denoted by a white swirl in the ground. A spear will just pin you to the ground if it hits you, and that will lead to a wipe, so don't let that happen. Just don't get hit by a spear, nuke the boss down, really simple. Next, move on to Operator Thogar. He's a joke. Just kill the mobs as they come in and nuke the boss down. If you want to laugh, hop in front of one of the trains, but other than that, he is just tank and spank. None of his mechanics are a worry. Iron Maidens is, well, it's easy until the end. Now, I chose to bring them all down at the same time via, cleave damage, instead of just nuking them down one by one. The incoming damage was quite problematic by the end of the fight, so you'll need a solution to live through that. As a hunter, I can feign death and let my pet take the pressure off me for a bit, or I can use Aspect of the Turtle, which will turn me invulnerable for a few seconds and also give me a sizable heal due to my artifact traits. Or I can use Exhilaration and get 30% health back instantly. It's a decent survivability kit, and it was able to get me through the end of this fight. But other classes do surpass that kit, so you should be okay for most classes. Now, there will be a lot of stuff on screen, including lots of little small missiles, dodge them, and that whole mechanic with going over to the boat to destroy the cannon, didn't need to bother with it. Finally, Black Hand is just a DPS check. I went in with 0 prep, and I killed him before he killed me. And I didn't even use my pet to soak much damage. Now, I'm sure squishy specs will have some issues here, but most of that should be fine if you have the gear. There are mechanics to worry about with this fight. Well, no, there's mechanics. You don't need to worry about them, though, like if you're around 880, and I assume that most people wanting to clear this place on Heroic kind of will be. High Maul was cleared in the last video, so I didn't really bother re-clearing it for this. And yeah, there we have it. Most Warlords of Draenor content can be soloed. This is pretty fantastic news. Some of the gear from those raids really does look wonderful. If you're having problems, it's probably just a case of getting some better gear, and perhaps equipping maybe that survival legendary that's been sitting in your bank for months. But yeah, that's it for the video. There are my experiences trying to solo some of the Warlords content. Overall, it's a good bit of fun if you want to maybe work in your transmog sets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.